something in a galaxy 8 billion light-years away spent an entire day quietly winding up. Then it unleashed an explosion that lasted 7 hours. Not 7 seconds, 7 hours. And not one physicist, not one model, not one equation can explain how. You're listening to Stardrift FM, April 3rd, 2026. Tonight, a cosmic explosion that rewrote the record books and left astrophysics without an answer. A sungrazing comet racing toward the sun, with Perihelion tomorrow. Webb finally photographs the galaxy's most active star factory. A third galaxy found with zero dark matter. Europe and China are 6 days from launching the first mission to watch solar storms from the outside. And the second Starlink satellite to fragment in 4 months from the same orbit, the same model, and still no explanation. Grab your coffee, let's get into it. Here's what happened. On July 2nd, 2025, China's Einstein probe satellite detected a faint signal of soft X-rays from deep space. Nothing alarming, just a quiet brightening over hours. Then, a full day later, NASA's Fermi telescope caught a gamma-ray burst, the most energetic kind of explosion in the universe. That burst went on for 25,000 seconds, 7 hours. The previous record holder lasted about 15,000 seconds. GRB 25702b nearly doubled it. 51 days later, JWST followed up, and what it found made things stranger. The burst came from a galaxy twice as massive as the Milky Way, completely the wrong type for a standard gamma-ray burst. It happened 1900 light-years from the galaxy's center, nowhere near any supermassive black hole. And there was no supernova to shell for it, no stellar collapse. And those X-rays that started a full day before the gamma rays? No model predicted that. The leading theory, an intermediate mass black hole, somewhere between a few thousand and 10,000 solar masses, disrupted a star through tidal forces. The accretion disk built up over a day, which explains the X-ray precursor. Then, when the disk hit peak accretion, it launched a gamma-ray jet. For 7 hours, Benjamin Gompertz, who led the JWST follow-up at the University of Birmingham, described the energy as the equivalent emitted by 1,000 suns shining for 10 billion years. Events like this are more than 1,000 times rarer than a typical long gamma-ray burst. In 50 years of watching the sky for these flashes, we've never seen anything that comes close. The next one might not happen, or at least might not be aimed at us for another 50 years. Speaking of once-in-a-generation events, there's a comet making its move on the sun tomorrow. Comet C2026A1, known as MAPS for its 4 discoverers, is a Kreutz sungrazer. These are a family of comets with almost identical, extremely elongated orbits that bring them to within a fraction of a solar radius of the sun's surface. They're ancient fragments of a single giant comet that shattered around 371 BC. Tomorrow at 1422 UTC, MAPS will reach Perihelion. It'll pass at 161,000 kilometers above the sun's surface, traveling at 557 kilometers per second through the solar corona. Temperatures there exceed 1,000,000 degrees. Solar radiation is 30,000 times what Earth receives. The question is whether it holds together. If MAPS survives, models suggest it could reach magnitude -9 or brighter, briefly visible in broad daylight next to the sun. The most spectacular comet in decades, the best views would come April 6th through 10th from the southern hemisphere. If it fragments, like Comet Ison did in 2013, it simply disperses. No tail, no daylight show, just rubble continuing along the orbit. You'll know by Sunday. There's a region in our own Milky Way, 17,000 light-years from Earth, where the galaxy is still actively building itself. And we just got the sharpest photograph of it in history. W51 is the Milky Way's most productive star nursery. Over 30 O-type stars, the hottest, most massive stellar class, are already blazing inside it. For comparison, the Orion Nebula has 4. University of Florida's JWST team, led by Adam Ginsberg and doctoral candidate Taewha Yu, pierced through those dust clouds using infrared wavelengths. What they found were stars less than 1 million years old, still wrapped in the gas and dust they formed from, completely invisible to every previous telescope. Ginsburg's exact words: "They are not the first photos of this region, but they are the best. They're so much better that they essentially are brand new photos." Here's the humbling part. Even with JWST, 90% of what radio telescopes detect in W51 is still hidden. The star formation is so embedded, so deeply racked in gas and dust, that even the most powerful infrared telescope ever built can't reach it. We're watching the galaxy build itself and still only seeing a fraction of the work in progress. There's a galaxy 65 million light-years away called NGC 1052-DIF9. Astronomers at Yale just confirmed it contains essentially no dark matter. That would be strange on its own, but it's the third galaxy in the same region of sky with this exact property. Dark matter is supposed to be the invisible scaffolding holding galaxies together. In a galaxy this size, the stars should be moving about 27 kilometers per second. That's how fast they'd need to go if a normal dark matter halo were pulling on them. DF9 stars are moving at 6.4 kilometers per second, right in line with only the visible mass, the stars themselves. No hidden scaffolding, no dark matter halo. The explanation, the bullet dwarf scenario, says this is what happens when two dwarf galaxies collide at high speed. Dark matter is collisionless. The two halos just pass through each other like ghosts. The gas physically collides, gets shot, ignites a burst of star formation. What's left behind is a trail of galaxies, stellar mass intact, dark matter stripped away. Michael Keim and Pieter van Dokkum at Yale published the DIF9 measurement this week, the third galaxy, right where the bullet dwarf model predicted there should be one. And here's the strange twist. These galaxies without dark matter are actually strong evidence that dark matter is real. For this collision to separate dark matter from gas, dark matter has to exist and behave as a collisionless particle. You need dark matter to exist, to make galaxies without dark matter. 6 days from now, a spacecraft will launch from French Guiana and do something no mission has ever done. Photograph Earth's magnetic field being battered by the sun from the outside in real time. The mission is called SEMILE Solar Wind Magnetosphere Ionosphere Link Explorer. It's a 50-50 partnership between ESA and the Chinese Academy of Sciences. It carries 4 instruments, a soft X-ray camera using lobster eye optics, an ultraviolet aurora imager, a magnetometer, and an ion analyzer. Every previous spacecraft that studied Earth's space environment has been inside it. They measure 1.1 moment, like a weather station in one city. SMILE will be far enough away to see the whole system at once, like a weather satellite watching a hurricane. Solar Cycle 25 has dramatically exceeded predictions. Sunspot numbers nearly doubled what forecasters expected. The May 2024 G5 storm, the strongest in 2 decades, caused aurora visible in tropical latitudes worldwide. SMILE launches into this elevated activity window exactly when there are enough events to study. April 9th. First science images in about 3 months. This one is worth following. And finally, something more sobering. On March 29th, Starlink Satellite 34,343 fragmented in orbit at 560 kilometers altitude. SpaceX lost contact. Lea Labs detected tens of pieces. This would be concerning on its own, but it's the second Starlink satellite to fragment in 4 months. In December, Starlink 35,956 vented its propulsion tank at 418 kilometers. That one re-entered within 30 days, aided by the lower altitude. The March event is at 560 kilometers, higher, slower decay. Some fragments could persist for months. LEO labs classify this as an internal energetic source, battery or propulsion failure, not a collision with track debris. Jonathan McDowell at Harvard-Smithsonian raised the critical concern: if this is a design flaw in the V2 Mini optimized satellite model, then 3,532 identical satellites are in orbit right now. The 550-kilometer shell is among the most densely populated orbital altitudes on Earth. This isn't a crisis, but two unexplained internal breakups in 4 months from the same satellite model in the most crowded corridor in low Earth orbit is not something to look away from. That's Stardrift FM for April 3, 2026. A 7-hour explosion that left astrophysics without an answer. A comet making its run around the sun tomorrow. We'll know if it survives by Sunday. The Milky Way's most productive star factory finally in focus. 3 galaxies with no dark matter, and a paradox that might be the strongest evidence for dark matter we have. A mission launching in 6 days to watch solar storms the way we've never watched them before. And a reminder that the most crowded highway in space is getting more complicated. This is Stardrift FM. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if these stories landed with you. New episodes every week.